Did you know that 85% of New York Times bestsellers were ghostwritten? You're here because you want both. One, you want a best-selling book, but you also want it to be ghostwritten, aka someone else does all the work and you take all the credit and all the royalties. Hi, I'm Joshua Lisec. I am the world's only award-winning, celebrity-recommended, #1 international best-selling, certified professional ghostwriter. But hold on just a second. You and I may not be the best fit together, and that's why I recorded this video. In fact, there are 7 reasons that you and I may not want to work together. The first reason you may not want to work with me as a ghostwriter is if you're not willing to write a commercially viable book. Publishing is a multi-billion industry, and I've been around here for a while. I've ghostwritten over 40 books. Now, let me tell you something about this industry. It rewards books, regardless of category, when they're written with the reader in mind. That is, the person who's going to be reading the book. Self-directed, self-absorbed books fail. What's a self-directed, self-absorbed book? Well, it's a book that the author writes, they sit down and they say, this is what I want to talk about. Come hell or high water, this is what I'm going to write about. I don't care if it's commercially viable. If that's your situation, I give you permission to work with a different ghostwriter. The second reason you and I may not be the best fit is if you don't care how many copies your book sells. One author once told me that he didn't care if his book sold 3 copies. He wanted it written the way he wanted it written. Now, in my business, we use the most advanced premium SEO and keyword research tools, and we scan thousands of reader reviews on books like yours to see what the most common feedback is. That way, we are able to front load the market research. We're able to guarantee that you are writing a book that is positioned for the most profit possible. The third reason you may want to choose a different ghostwriter is if you're in fact just looking for a freelance writer or even a free ghostwriter rather than a guide to publishing success who happens to be a ghostwriter. What does it look like to work with a guide? Well, a guide is someone who's been there before. They've done that before when the stakes were highest. I've worked with celebrities who appear on national television. I've worked with keynote speakers, entrepreneurs, supermodels, influencers, and billionaires. I've ghostwritten for founders, executives, 7-figure marketers, men and women at the top of their industry, and even ordinary people whose extraordinary actions made them household names. Why do I tell you all this? Because as a celebrity ghostwriter, I can tell you that authenticity is everything, and reputation is everything. If you're at the top of your game, you get it. You need to be the real deal while also reinforcing that you're the one and only expert. That's what a publishing guide does. The fourth reason to work with a different ghostwriter is if you don't mind that the book doesn't sound like you wrote it. Some authors will hire a ghostwriter for a book, pay him $500, and then that writer will copy and paste their subject matter's Wikipedia entry and call it a book. I know this happens because I run a ghostwriter training program in which I have to untrain a lot of book writers on how to write books because they use a lot of these smarmy tactics out there. If that doesn't bother you, that's all right, but I'd like you to choose a different ghostwriter. The fifth reason you and I may not be the best fit is if you're looking to hire an employee, not onboard a mentor. As I said, I mentor ghostwriters and I also teach authors. The Dilbert creator and multiple New York Times bestselling author Scott Adams recognized my expertise as a mentor for authors. The upside of working with me is that you don't have to sit in front of your computer wondering if anyone's going to like your book, are you any good, etc. Just skip the negative self-talk. That's what a mentor can do. If you're not looking for a mentor, that's all right. Go ahead and move along. The sixth reason to go elsewhere is if you don't have a process or a framework and you don't want one. All popular fiction uses the hero's journey. It's where the protagonist goes from who they are, their struggles, to being transformed, being a hero. The world is looking for tangible hope, not hypothetical help. The nonfiction book you're writing can and should bring in the hero's journey. Nonfiction in any genre must take people on a journey from the ordinary to the extraordinary. And having a process or a framework is the structure. It's the journey. It's the step-by-step process that's going to take people from where they are to where they want to be. If you're not interested in creating something like that through our work together, I give you permission to work with someone else. And finally, probably the best reason to choose a different ghostwriter is if you believe that good enough, it's good enough. Some people out there will transcribe a conversation with you, remove the uhs, ums, and false starts, and call it a book. And then the book gets 1-star reviews because you wasted the reader's time and money and your own time, unfortunately. What ultimately appears in your book through my process goes through 7 rigorous steps, including information gathering, structuring, ghostwriting, substantive editing, developmental editing, line editing, copy editing, and after that comes proofreading, citations, reformatting, etc. I'm going into detail on this process real quick because we are very, very particular about what will ultimately go into the book, even to the point of choosing one word over another because of its hypnotic effect on your reader's subconscious mind. If you are an author, you are playing a mass persuasion game. And if you're going to work with me, then you better be playing to win. If I haven't scared you off already and you're actually thinking, wow, based on what this guy is saying, I may in fact meet all of the qualifications for working with this guy, all you have to do is book a time with me. Click the link below and you and I will have a conversation, and I guarantee that you will come away from our conversation a free manuscript strategy session with clarity, with knowing exactly how to write, how to structure, and even how to market your book. See you soon.